And this is WVOF 88.5 in Fairfield, Connecticut. And that's Tommy Barbarella featuring Angela Joy and Greasy Meal. Don't forget, they are coming back for 3 shows, a charity weekend, and we'll fill you in more as we have the fellas on in next week's shows. But right now, we are going to welcome a great friend here to the upper room and a keystone member of the Minneapolis music scene. His name is Monte Moir, keyboardist for the time, but he also has a great CD, which we've been playing for the last year or so here, called This Side of Paradise. And we are going to welcome once again to the upper room, Monte Moir. How you doing, Monte?
Good. How are you doing, Joe? Nice to talk to you again.
Yeah, doing fine. JD's here as well, co-hosting today. So,
hey, JD.
Monte, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Nice to hear you.
You too.
So you guys are coming back to New York with the time after about, I'd say, a year's absence from doing shows here.
Yeah, I think it's been almost 2 years. 2 years since we've been to BB King's, I know.
Right. The last time I saw you was in Brooklyn out in the outdoor show.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard time keeping track of all these, but
yeah, that's right. So you've been busy with your own music, which we may mention in the great CD, This Side of Paradise. And it's available on your website, Monte Moir, MOIR.com. How's the CD going across at the shows and on radio? It's been going pretty good?
It's been going very good. It's been a really nice surprise and real nice, a lot of support from a lot of people. It's been great.
So a lot of musicians, I guess ultimate compliment is when, I've talked to musicians about your CD that have heard it and they're saying, wow, great songwriting and great vocals on there. And it must feel real nice, right?
Yeah, it's been something I've wanted to do for a long, long time, and to finally get it out and hear the reception that it's getting. Yeah, it's very, very nice.
So how did you, for a refresher course for a lot of our listeners out there who may not have heard it yet, what was the process in getting these songs written and putting your own solo project together?
Oh, like I say, it's been something I've wanted to do for probably years, and for various reasons haven't got to it, and I've picked away at it in the last couple of years. I've just decided I was going to go ahead and do it, and we've released it under my own label, and like plenty of other people do, and recorded it at home and put it out there.
And when you have it ready to go, putting it out there, how about the fellows in the time? Because we know you guys are a host of great musicians. When they're listening to it, great feedback from them, of course?
Yeah, it was interesting. They I don't think it was what they were expecting totally, because I think a lot of people are expecting to hear things that I've done in the past that have been more R&B based, and this is away from that a little bit. So I think Morris actually said it kind of took him by surprise, but then he got it after a minute, after he heard it a couple of times. So it's kind of a departure from what people are used to hearing from me. But I think for me, doing my own project, it's much closer to where I would be doing something for myself.
Monte, it's JD. I just wanted to ask you, as you know, I got your album as soon as it came out, and to your point, I was kind of along the same lines of not really expecting, what I heard, and of course being, very pleasantly surprised. Can you talk a little bit about, your style of songwriting, how you come up with the ideas for your songs? Are they based on life experiences, or are they things that you've had built up for years? Can you touch on that a little bit?
Sure. Most everything I do has something to do with my life, for better or worse. A few of the songs I had laying around for a while, and most everything else kind of got written as I was putting the project together. But like I said, most everything for me it's much more meaningful to me if it's coming somehow out of my life in some form.
Sure.
So just an expression of that. It's kind of therapy sometimes.
And which was actually going to be my next question. Must be pretty therapeutic, just getting your ideas and your emotions out there, which is also kind of I would assume maybe a bold thing, kind of putting your feelings out there. But again, you did a great job.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I figure I think it's more important, at least for myself, to write about things that are important to me, and hopefully if it resonates with me, perhaps it'll resonate with somebody else as well.
How about as far as I know, you work with a sprinkling of some of your great friends on the record, like Curtis Jones, who you introduced me to in New York, and Esther Godinez. How do you go about choosing people to add to the songs?
Good question, because there's only a few people who actually played on the first record. The next record, I'd like to have a lot more players and a lot more input from some other people. But Kurt's been a good friend of mine since we did a record together when he was with the group Deja back in '86, I believe it was. And we've been real close ever since. And he offered to help out. And Esther, I've gotten to know in the last few years, and she's just a great percussionist. And I gave her a call, and she kindly came over.
And there you go. How about, I know the time's coming into BB King's. We should let our listeners know they can go to bbkingblues.com and 2 shows, both Friday and Saturday night.
Yep.
Getting those double shows in, how do you get the energy? Because I know you guys come into town and leap pretty quickly. You know, it's pretty energetic weekend. How do you stay in good shape for that?
You recover when you get home, basically.
Oh, okay.
You take a day to get yourself back together. That's how it usually is. We're usually in and out of towns pretty quick, but we always love coming to New York. You know, I mean, it's a great city, and it's always some great energy when we come. And we had a great time at BB King's last time. We did the same thing, I think, 2 shows in 4 days, and it's just a lot of fun.
So JD has a question for you, Monte.
Monte, I wanted to know, after so many years performing with The Time, and, it's got to be going on 20 years now, a little over 20 years. Every time we see you, you and the fellas look to be having a great time on stage. And, I always get the feeling that it's genuine. It's definitely not an act. Can you talk a little bit about what goes through your mind when you're performing?
It is completely genuine. We do actually have a lot of fun, and I think that's probably the primary reason we're still together at this point, because we do have a lot of admiration and respect for each other, and we do have a lot of fun. And of course, we got a few guys in the group who significantly contribute to that end, as I'm sure you can figure out.
Sure.
So it's really easy, It's pretty easy to have fun around those guys, and we just go out and try to have a good time, and hopefully it rubs off on everybody else as well.
For sure. And the shows that we've been at, it's definitely nothing but a party, getting involved in some good music and, seeing you and the boys up there having a great time. What would you say is your single, like the highlight of your show? I mean, what's the one point that really stands out, when you guys are performing? Is there a particular song? Is there a particular part of the show that you really look forward to?
I think, I don't know if a particular song in any sense, but I like the way the momentum of the show goes. I mean, it starts off pretty high, but about 3/4 of the way through, things seem to kick in a little bit more, and perhaps because we're doing a little more familiar material and stuff, and it is just the flow of the crowd and the way the crowd gets into it as we go. It's just kind of a nice wave to ride.
How about the chance to work in some new material? I know in the beginning you guys have an instrumental song kicking off things, or at least last time. Any more desire to do that with the group?
Yeah, we've talked about it. We've got certainly some things we've recorded in that, and nothing that's going to be released anytime soon that I don't think, but we're really trying to work on stuff because we're getting a lot of response from people, and I sure am at my website wondering when we are going to come out with something. So we are trying to work towards that a little sooner, and so we're always trying to work on stuff, trying to add things here and there.
Well, some of the new stuff is from this great CD called This Side of Paradise from my special guest here on the Upper Room, Monte Moir, and he's going to be with us for another 20 minutes or so. And why don't we get into some of the music from the CD, Monte?
Sure, that'd be great.
We'll hear you with I'm the One Who Loves You. And you can go right now to montemoir.com, MOIR.com, and order the CD. Say hello to Monte and go check him out down in New York City this weekend. So this is Monte Moir. Okay, another great song off of Monte Moir's This Side of Paradise. And we were talking with Monte offline about the independent route. And having a record out there. So a lot of musicians listen to this show and curious, I'm sure, to know how it's been going as an independent artist. And still there?
It's been going good, Joe. It's always a struggle because you're doing a lot of things yourself, and you have a limited amount of funds you can put into it. But there's so many ways you can, approach this and get things out there, word of mouth and things like that. And guys like you have been so supportive of everything, and the websites and all that. So it's a struggle, but you just have to keep working at it every day, and it's more of a long-term process. Like we talked offline, it was, the labels, with the major labels, they're going to hit it real quick over a couple month period, and then the record's pretty much dead usually. But with these kind of records, we can stretch for long periods of time and kind of keep riding little waves when things come up. So it's kind of nice that way.
So on the Time members of the Time solo charts, who's in the top spot right now? Is it Freak Juice, yourself, or does it go up and down every week?
That's probably up for some heavy debate. I'm sure if you had Toriati, he'd give you a whole different answer than I would. But
right. I'm just kidding with you.
I know.
Yeah.
Some of these guys could skew their sales figures a little bit.
That's right. And with
Jerome
and with Jerome being the middleman, you never know, right?
That's right.
Right.
You got to keep track of these guys,
Right.
Monte, talking about your solo album, I remember reading a quote from Prince once where he said that he considered his album a success as soon as he had finished it. As soon as he had the completed work in his hands, it was already a success to him. How rewarding was it, finally completing your own solo CD? I mean, what kind of feelings did you have? I mean, can you just take us through that thought process a little bit?
I think that's very accurate, and I think a lot of people feel that way about whether they're doing. I've heard some actors talk about that as well. Once your process is done, that's almost your victory in a sense, because after that, a lot of it ends up being based upon what the audience's perspective and their reaction to it, and a lot of that is out of your control. And it's really for me to get through that whole process, it was very rewarding, because like for me it took a little bit longer time to get to it and get through it, and it is. I mean, that's almost the biggest challenge. I know Jimmy Jam was talking about when we did the Pandemonium record, the Last Time record. He felt we succeeded just because we were able to get all the original members back together and actually record a record. What it did from there, who knows?
Right.
But just I totally agree with that.
Right. And I can certainly appreciate that, simply because at least for myself, and I'm sure that Joe probably feels the same way. When I'm always into the music for how it makes you feel, for what it does for me. I'm not really interested in, charts and things like that. And, I can appreciate that some people are, but it's always, the feeling that we get. And that's certainly the case when we see you and the Time perform live. We go to the shows to have a good time, and it's incredible just to see the different amounts of people, all races, colors, creeds, sexes, whatever, just having a good time, really paying attention to the music, the dance steps, and, just taking us back to the day when, things were real.
Yeah, I mean, I get a lot of enjoyment out of that. I mean, after we did the Jay and Silent Bob movie, we had a whole nother wave of, younger kids coming up and coming to the shows and stuff, and we've always gotten a large variety of people, just any age, any color, and it's just really nice when you look out there and you just see all kinds of people enjoying themselves.
Sure, and as you know, I can attest to that because, of course, my daughter was very excited to get your autograph, and then I've got several videos and things like that, and actually showed her the end of the Jay and Silent Bob movie, and she couldn't believe that somebody that I knew was actually in the movie, so that was great for me.
So how about right now, I guess the Time, the way they are in the music business is a bit different from those lengthy tours back in the 80s. How do you prefer personally?
Right now, for the way my life is now, I really enjoy the way we're doing things in the Time.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing 50, 60 dates a year, probably. Most of it's in the summer. So it's like the best of both worlds for me.
Monty, that always interested me because, I know the amount of dates that you guys do, especially in the summer. And I know that your love and your passion is for playing, but how about some of that extracurricular stuff? The traveling and the hotels and all that. I mean, does it get tedious?
It can if we do those long stretches, and it can get tiring because a lot of times we're leaving first thing out in the morning and play late at night and do the first thing in the morning on the way home. But I mean, that's just part of the process, and for me it's a small complaint to have, to be able to still be doing it this after 20 years.
Sure, that's great.
I mean, we can all complain. I mean, I like traveling, actually. It's just sometimes the hours get a little crazy, but
right.
But like I say, that's really a small price to pay to still be able to do this at this level.
Sure.
How about, we have a huge contingent of online listeners, especially in Europe right now, Monty. What would it take to get back out in Europe for you guys to go out there? I know they've been clamoring for it from the emails I got.
Yeah, I get them too.
Yeah, sure.
People have been wondering a lot. And it's hard to say. We have had some interest in going over there, but I guess somehow we haven't just been able to pull the whole thing off. That would make sense. It does cost a lot to get over there and that, but we loved it when we were there before. Everybody did. Last time I think we did Amsterdam a few years ago. Did a festival over there, and then I think the year before that we did about a 2.5-week run through 5-6 different European countries, and it was just great. And I know every one of us would love to get back.
Monty, again, having followed your career and the time, again for some 20 some odd years, Joe and I were commenting just a little while ago offline. I looked at him and I said, you know what? Who would have thought that back in the day, we're talking early 80s, we'd be talking to, for us, musical heroes and pioneers in funk and rock and roll music. And I'm sure that there's thousands of fans across the country that feel that way. How do you feel about meeting the fans? I mean, I see people approach you at the shows, and you're so gracious with everybody. How do you really feel about the fan base, especially after all these years?
I think it's wonderful. I think it's amazing people still coming out, and I think you do get more appreciative of that as the years go by. And when we first started out, all this stuff comes at you, and that you're not familiar with, just a lot of people being around and all, and it takes a minute to deal with that. And over the years, going out again and again, we have fans that come out to almost every show every time we hit certain cities, and we get to know a lot of these people, and it's really nice. Sometimes we hang out with them, everything else. I think everybody's just real appreciative.
Sure, that's great.
So we should let our listeners know that Monte Moir will be coming into New York City, which is only 1 hour north of New York's. We are located only 1 hour north of New York City, and they'll be there February 28th and March 1st, Friday and Saturday night. 2 shows, and it's a nice, comfortable dinner theater club setup. And heard Prince was there last night, not performing, but just chilling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think there was like an after party Grammy party for Common and Erykah Badu. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know he hangs with Erykah now and then.
Yeah. So you guys will be there, and the shows are guaranteed to be great musicianship and fun. But Monte Moir also has a great solo career going, and his CD is called This Side of Paradise on Lagoon Records out in Minnesota. And I'll spell the website for our listeners. They can go right now to his website, montemoir.com. And the pictures of the CD, real artistic. Definitely be commended for that.
Oh, thanks.
Do you collect art yourself?
I'd be called an amateur art collector.
Okay.
I'm not terribly knowledgeable, but, you kind of like what you like.
Right.
Buy what you like, Yeah, a friend of mine took those pictures. A childhood friend of mine and another, Dan Polsfus, and another childhood friend, Rick Smetana, did all the artwork on the CD. So it was really nice to be able to work with, some really good friends.
Monty, I'd just like to take the opportunity to say thanks for everything. The musicianship, the friendship, the approachability. We really, really appreciate, having the opportunity just, to even talk to you. And of course, just to come out and see you and the fellas and support you guys live. It's really been a real pleasure over the past few years.
Oh, thanks. It's been a pleasure meeting you guys as well. You guys are great people. Very supportive. Can't thank you guys enough.
All right, Monte. I got to make it official. It's WVOF 88.5 in Fairfield, Connecticut, top of the hour. And let's see. We're going to thank you once again, Monte, for stopping by. And I think this is about the fourth appearance, or third or fourth?
I think at least the third, yeah.
Yeah, the VIP guest as always. So, yeah. We're going to have to put out the Monte Moir interview series pretty soon, like a box set.
Wow, that would be something.
There we go. Send your emails and we'll see. We'll maybe put it out one day.
There you go.
So yeah. So looking forward to seeing you Saturday night. And,
you too, Joe.
And we're going to go out with another one from This Side of Paradise. You can buy it online, support your independent musicians, and it's at montemoir.com. This is Save Your Love for Me. And thanks again, Monte.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, JD.
Take care, Monte.
All right.